All right, so this is Anthony Terrell, the Leaf in the Wind tour documentary. It's 12:31 in the a.m. Last I was speaking to you, I was about 11, right at 11 p.m. So 12:30 in an a.m. right now. It is currently the 12th of July, 2026. Now, I was down this way last I spoke to you, prior to this one. And I was at a train station, and I was going on about there being parking lots to either side. So I said, I think I'm gonna come down this way and see what goes down this way. See, my objective is to get away as much as possible and still away as much practice time as I possibly can with hopefully minimizing how many people are around and about. But like I told you, they're just about as prevalent and ubiquitous and widespread as ants. You know, they're just everywhere. So in big cities like this, you know, so I'm just telling you what it is. This is part of the documentary. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm just telling you like it is, what's going on. So I come down here, and I get down here. When I get down here, I'm like, okay, this might work, you know, but there's still parking lots. So I sit down at a bench, and I'm going to commit to it, right? And I had a little something to eat beforehand. By the time I was done with my peanut butter crackers and my can of spinach, it reminds me of a U2 song, eating from a can, running away from what you don't even, living underground, eating from a can, running from away what you don't understand. She moves in mysterious ways. And then some guy comes over and sits on the bench right across the street from where I was at, and he's still over there. I guess he kind of chills over there or something. And by the time I started playing guitar, I was like, okay, well, I guess let's go for it. It's not going to be much better than this. Some other guy joined him. Security came over, and I'm guessing security is just going to post up there. He's posting up right over this way and just listen to me until he gets bored of it and tells me to kick rocks, you know. Either way, I still away as much time as I can, much practice as I can. And like I told you on the other video prior to this one, that's why I moved down to this location right here, because it's only something I can do for so long before it's time to get up and move on, because it's grown or run its course with whatever element is going on at that particular spot. And I actually spoke to my AI. I spoke to my AI. I was like, look, do you know of any places? I told her the predicament. You know, I'm living underneath the stars, residentially challenged, XYZ. I'm looking for a place that's reclusive, remote, blah, 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 blah. She's like, okay, well, she can really come up with nothing even fucking no better than what I'm coming up with. And she's pretty fucking good at things. So I'm just going to grin and bear it, and I guess kick rocks and move on to the next location and see how much time I can get in there before, you know, I fall to sleep or someone tells me to mosey the fuck on. Like, just about what they're telling me over there. That's nothing new. That's how it goes. So, oh yeah, and then let's not forget the United States of America. I call it the United States of America like it was with Pink Floyd and the album, The Wall. And Waters is sitting in his car in that little scene over there. I guess it was a scene, you just had to envision it, I guess, because it was just audio. And right over there, and it's just like, hey, someone's calling. He's like, who is this? The United States of America's calling. Or they said the president's calling. The United States of America's calling. Yeah, the United States of America's calling. He's like, what? He clicked the phone, right? Hung it up on him. That's what I've got. I've got the government. I know I sound like a nutcase right now, but I do. I've been speaking about it for a while now. I've got the Pentagon following me because I'm a light worker. See, there they go right there. You see them right there? They were over there just flying around. Now they're coming over that building over there. It's everywhere I go, you know? Everywhere I go. They're on me like flies on shit. Because of who I am and what I am. And I don't know exactly what I am, who I am, in accord to this whole rule that's going on. But I'm pretty sure they don't stress the rest of these light workers out. And other ones like 24/7 invasive shit. With me, it's 24/7. They don't relent. They need to know every goddamn thing I'm doing. Like they're documenting something themselves for some reason or another. Not like they are, because they are. That's what they're doing. You know, and I deal with them. So like I'm saying, I don't have anything that I can do with how invasive they are that says, look, I'm going to reveal this at the time that I want to reveal this. No, they get it as soon as I get it. They may even get it before I get it. Who says I want to share this with them? They've everything I do, they get it. Right then and there. When I'm youthing, whatever it is I'm doing, they sit there and get it as I'm doing it. Like they have the right to do so. And they may have some contract going on with the Pleiadians or whatever's going on. I really can't say. But I'll tell you this right now, I'm not happy about it. But hey, damn what the hell I'm on and what I feel. And I'm a very private person. You see how I'm doing things right now? This has a lot to do with it. One of the things I'm trying to do, let me go ahead and hit you up with this, because I said it before, is I'm trying to just shine light upon this whole situation here. And I've done that, but there's really nothing people can do about it. Their hands are folded, right? If they could do something about it, they probably wouldn't want to do anything about it. Yeah, but see, this is a whole nother level of Big Brother's watching. Whole nother level. And I'm not exactly sure what it's all about. I have my presumptions, my guesstimations. But I'd like one day to just shine a light on the place, let as many people around the world know what's going on and what's been going on, and just see what comes of it. Matter of fact, I've been talking about going to the White House here in a minute. Trump knows me. 2015, we crossed paths in Austin, Texas. There's this big thing going on out there. They had a bunch of cameras out there, journalists and stuff like that, and they were going on about Hillary Clinton and Trump in 2015, as you well know. It was out there, and I was just walking. I came across the path, I told the story before, where they was at, and I wasn't expecting to. It just happened, serendipitously, I guess. No, if that's a correct word, serendipitously. Coincidentally, it just happened. I passed him, see how it's moving differently now. I just passed the goddamn thing, and I started talking to him about all kind of stuff, and I was very controversial in what I was saying and how I looked. At the time, I had all kind of shit going on. I had a baton, I had a fucking a taser, I had knives, I had all kinds of shit, because I was trying to do something at the time. I was trying to have a good offense. So sometimes the best defense is a good offense. I just wanted to be left the fuck alone. I didn't know when I went out to Austin, Texas, that it was a live music capital of the world, and I did not know that it was a mecca for homosexuality. But when I got out there, I actually had to fight with a homosexual. Sitting at the bus stop, minding my business. He was just too close, and he had on some tight pants or whatever, and I'm sitting right here at the bus stop, and he's right here, so I move her over, then he comes and moves over, and he keeps having his butt too close to me in my face, so I spoke on it. Next thing you know, he swung on me. As we were exchanging words and had a verbal altercation, he swung on me first. I was like, this is too crazy. So I just started walking around like, hey, look, I've got a fucking a gun wrapped in tape. You know what I'm saying? I've got to retract, because I saw on this Seinfeld, I think it was Seinfeld episode, Elaine Bennett was telling somebody was telling Elaine Bennett that the best way to walk around New York is as if you were the threat. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the best offense is best defense is a good offense. So people are leaving me the fuck alone. But this is what I'm trying to get at. I had all that shit on me when I started speaking to these people. And all these cameras and shit. And at first, they weren't paying attention to me, all right? But then I said something more. Some lady was like, hey, look at your shirt. She was part of the she wasn't a journalist, but she was part of the little clique over there. Somebody who showed up to be on them, on it, And she's like, hey, look at your shirt, She kept trying to, admonish me to go and take leave and just stop it. Here's another one right here. And leave it alone, And I was like, I have something to say. So I kept going and going and going. And eventually I said something. It was like, whoa. One camera turned around on me. Then as soon as that camera turned around me, all the other cameras turned around on me. Now, they never aired this, but I'm pretty sure Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and who knows who else in the White House want to know who the fuck is this guy with all this shit on and this controversial shirt that I had on at the time. And that's besides the fact, but it was a very controversial shirt that I had on. I was going about Whitney, Wisconsin at the time, so that's about as much as I'll tell you, and that had a lot to do with the shirt. I had a thumbnail of her video over there on that motherfucker on my shirt. And one thing led to another. I find myself in the jail over there in Austin, getting my world rocked by some interrogation shit. They want to know which hide is hanging on and so on and so forth, They rocked my world up in there. Turns out, I guess they figured out I wasn't going to be a threat. I just had some other shit going on, but they didn't want to ask questions. They wanted to take it through some kind of big rigmarole, some big ordeal to fit and get to the bottom of it, So I've been knowing Trump ever since then. What is this helicopter right here? Is this helicopter for the hospital or some other shit? It's probably for the hospital. It's flying somebody in. But I've been knowing Trump ever since then. Trump's been on me ever since then. I didn't know I thought they just fell off. But 2017, I know they got back on the scene. If they weren't back on the scene, if they ever left the scene. I noticed them in 2017. It's 2026, like I said currently when I opened this video. We are still going on. And it's getting more and more insane, more and more insanity. There are more and more of them on me, and they will not relent. They're just on me 24/7. So I don't know what they know about me, where I rank, where I place, what my significance is, but I suspect I know what it is. But for some reason to them, it's that important. They spent all this time, all this money, all this resources on me for 10 goddamn years now. And yet they're not putting the fucking money in my bank account that they're spending on me. So I know whatever it is, I mean, all things point to, they're not my friends. They haven't invited me to a drink. They haven't invited me to cigars and brandy. None of that shit. They're users is how I look at it. Whatever it is they're doing with me, there's just something they're trying to gain, and they don't give a fucking flip about me. That's how I look at it. So it's very much like I'm trying to say. I've got all of this going on. You know, here's another one over here. Flying over in, that's how they do it. One flies out, another one flies in. I'm like the fucking airport everywhere I go. You know, but this is my tour. Leaf in the Wind documentary, for whatever it's worth. We're going to see what happens. But I'd like to shine light upon this. I'd like the whole world to see it and know that it's so. I saw this guy earlier today. I was at McDonald's. Some Caucasian guy. I think he's familiar with me, perhaps from my social media. I fly around here. I've got flying around here. Because he walks by and he says, oh, schizo, who's so? Schizo. Or like, I think he was referring to me when he said schizo. If that's all you think about me, is that I'm some stupid schizo, I would like the world to see something different. Like Lee Carroll over there and Monica. When I watched their channel, like Monica just the other day, and I was saying this prior to this, and now over there she's introducing someone or turning you on to someone who's going to be making some appearance on their show, and she gives a list of his accolades, a list of his credits, runs it down this way and that way. He's an author, blah 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 blah, and now you've got something that says, okay, well, that says something from something. Now I'm not even being considered a light work writer. All I'm being considered out here is a nutcase schizo. I would like for that to change one day, and the music, the recording artists, once that changes. And you'll know that it's so, I think it's going to be dwarfed. The recording artist thing, dwarfed by what it truly is that I am. They even said my homeboy Jesus, my brother Jesus, they said he was mad and had a demon. And Jesus said, look, if it's good enough for the master, it's good enough for the servant. And I know him to be the king. I don't know exactly what I am, but I'm not Jesus. Like Klein said in Lightwork's Handbook, Jesus? Oh, Jesus sits over this temple like a shrine. He didn't say Anthony.